something caught my eye right away. One, you didn't have Huso in the net. And I think that was the big difference. I mean, Huso, I think mentally, I think physically, I think he was just drained. I think he was mentally overthinking it. If you think about a lot of the shots and a lot of the rebounds in that second game, that's mental. That's him not trusting that he has the puck secured. That's not him trusting his teammates are going to be there. Goals can come in a barrage. And so after a couple came, they just kept coming and coming, and he could not kind of get it figured out. Wild, it figured him out. And then you look at Bennington, and they bring him in, and he plays pretty much lights out. Like, he has a great start. I just think the physicality, like you look at the Wild, there were a lot of big hits that were missed. You look at the game 3, St. Louis said, we're going to come out, we're going to destroy you. We don't care if we're missing guys. We don't care what the result is. And I think it wore down on the Wild, because in the second game, you saw a lot of potential big hits that either the guys pulled up, they didn't really take the right angle. I don't know if St. Louis out-physicaled them in the third game, even though they won it, but then that stayed with them. Like, man, these guys are just trying to kill us, and they're trying to make it a bloodbath. Sam, this is my question for you. Mm-hmm. We said it would be here 2-2. I said they would win game 3 because I thought they had the momentum, and then I figured out game 4, you're at home. Just like in basketball, same thing happens. Whoever kind of gets one. It's tough to get 2 back-to-back games, especially in the same house. Going on the road, so playing at home and then going on the road, that's why I think coming home game 5, the Wild are going to win. You have break, you have a flight. The Wild are going to be home and relax with their families. But here's my question to you, Sam. When you're looking at the goalkeeper or goaltender, and you don't want to, and these are grown men. This is sports. This happens. Quarterbacks get benched, receivers get benched, running backs get benched. In basketball, guards, forwards, centers, players that are not playing well get benched, and the 6-7 man come off the bench. That's where James Harden was created with the OKC Thunder. Came off the bench early on in his career. Guys weren't getting it done. James Harden ended up working into that starting lineup. Do you see this being something that we will never see Huso again in the rest of this series because of what Bennington was able to do with the team?
So if you go back to the Blues Stanley Cup year 2019, Bennington was the guy. Bennington kind of came out of nowhere and led them through the playoffs to a Stanley Cup. Now, he hasn't been as good since, particularly in the regular season, and that's why Huso got the Game 1 nod. That being said, Bennington has been in these spots. Huso has not been in these spots. And you could tell that the weight of the moment for Huso was maybe a little much in Game 3. He gave up 11 goals in 2 games between games 2 and 3. So I think the switch was necessary. And, the Blues did what the Wild did not. They pulled their goalie, and they had kind of an easy fallback, because you go from kind of a rookie in the playoffs, at least a fresh young goaltender who hasn't really been here before, to a Stanley Cup winner in Bennington. So Bennington is not going to be phased. And obviously I think he gets the Game 5 start. And, if he's playing Game 5, do you dare go back to anyone else in Game 6 or 7? Probably not. I feel like Bennington is the guy the rest of the series.
Yeah, and if you look at the shots on goal, I mean, shots against were 30-33 in favor of the Wild. So it wasn't like they weren't getting their shots off. Again, we just said that Bennington was lights out. To only allow 2 goals on 33 shots on goal, it's pretty impressive. I think the Blues also figured it out that the Wild are sneaky. They're trying to get into that little area, that blue area. They're trying to confuse the goaltender. You didn't see guys protecting him the way they protected Bennington. Like, it just wasn't the same. And same for the Wild. Like, I can't really say Fleury was the problem completely. Yeah, there were 5 goals on him. I'm learning hockey as I tweet this stuff out. The pros out there are telling me this stuff. Over 100. It was like the one tweet I just tweeted was Kirill Kaprizov was ridiculous. And I talked about the shot off the skate in Game 3. It ended up being like 112,000 interactions with that tweet. And I'm like, there's no video to it. There's no, I didn't get any. I just, hey, did he mean it to hit it off the guy's skate? And it's back and forth. I'm not even responding to people. People responding to each other. Like, one guy's like, yep, he looked back at it. He's doing this, blah, blah. He did. So I'm seeing kind of what's going on. And so I brought up the same thing about the goal, the shots on goal. And people are saying it's not always on the goalkeeper. It's not on Fleury. Like the guys have to do a better job. I know we did see Dumba with the huge skate save right at the line. There's got to be more of that protection. There's got to be more clean. As Nate Prosser put it up with me when he's talking to me. You got to clear the house, as they call it, and so you didn't see that. And I think maybe game 3 they wore them down. Like they were short players. And they say, you know what, we're going to be short defensemen. We got to figure out a way to just impose our will. And they beat them up in game 3 and then turned it around in game 4 and got it done. And so now they come back to Minnesota 2-2. We talked about what would have to happen. This would have to happen. The difference is the Timberwolves could not get it done in game 5. Can the Wild get it done? If the Wild don't get it done in game 5 and they got to go on the road in game 6, that's where it gets dicey, because now winning 2 in a row is easy when you're at home. And I've said that. Winning 2 in a row after you travel is not as hard as when you're just in the same spot and you're going to play in the same house, same place. If they lose game 5, the fans in St. Louis for game 6 are going to be nuts. The players are going to play tight. I keep talking about that tight sphincter. That's my favorite thing to talk about. Because the guys booty holes get tight. Like when there's a tough situation, guys get tight, and I think that's what sports is about. And this is my overall arching take on this. In order to win this, in order to get game 5, and make sure at least you get a game 7 back at home to take advantage of this home ice, because this is where the home ice matters. You got to win game 5 because you don't want to be pressured for game 6. But if you can win game 5, the pressure's off. You go there. They're nervous. They have to second guess who's in the goal. If you beat their goaltender up here, and it is Bennington, you're going to make them second guess now who should be in there. Fleury seems like the guy down the stretch now. That seems like they're going to stick with him. A Cam Talbot start would be disastrous in my opinion, because if he has any mistakes or falters, people are always going to question that move, because Fleury's gotten it done in 2 of the games so far. So when you're looking at what could possibly happen, you look at Eriksson Ek, you look at Fiala staying out of the box. Some of the penalties, and again, they're self-inflicting wounds. They have to stay out of the box. The penalty kill is not as easy with a team. It's like, they say, have you ever seen a stray animal which is back up against the wall? Whether it's somebody trying to, there's cat videos all over about this. Wild cats are left in the neighborhood. They call animal pest control to come get them. And it could be like a wild, serious cat or some kind of crazy cat. They absolutely destroy people's legs and arms when they're trying to be caught. And that's what's going to happen with one of these 2 teams. One of these 2 teams is going to be that cat up against the wall. And what you don't want to do is let that cat get a hold to you, because if they do, they're going to scratch and claw until you let them go. And that's where the Wild have to be able to put their foot or their skate on their throat and cut their heads off. Like you have to have a finishing move. It has to be like Mortal Kombat. But, that's my thought on it, Sam. I know we're going to have Brandon Molesky coming up. He's the hockey pro. Do you think they win game 5 before we get out of here?
Yeah, I think they should. I can't figure this series out at all, because each team has dominated one game on their home ice and gotten blown out another game on their home ice. So there's no real trend to go off of. Every game has been kind of lopsided. The adjustments have been excellent by the head coaches, but we haven't really had that tense third period yet. I guess yesterday was pretty close. It was a 1-goal game for a lot of that period, but we haven't had that gripping the edge of your seat kind of finish to a game yet. And I think it's going to come here in the final games of the series.
Yeah, well, I agree with you. I think these last 3, if they can get to 3. I said Wild in 6. I'm still sticking with it. I think they can get this done in 6. I think they can win this one. I think they can go to St. Louis and win again. And I think they can be done in 6. So we'll see. I've been pretty accurate so far, even though I am just out here throwing numbers up against a wall. But I've been pretty accurate so far.